Okay guys, have it all glued up. It's looking fantastic. So this nice gentle curve that we have here is also curved on the legs this way, and it follows the curve on the front of the leg as well. So like I said, it's looking very good. So we're going to get the top now. We're going to have a look at putting the top on this, or mark it out for the curve on the top. That's next. Okay guys, I have the bench upside down on the top and I have a 12mm packer, and I want to use that 12mm packer to follow that curve. Okay. So I now have 12mm all round, or I have it marked 12mm all round, and that's what we're going to cut off there now. Okay guys, I have the bench top marked and I'm going to cut it with a jigsaw. Probably not ideal, but then the bandsaw is not sharp enough to go, definitely to go through that hole. It wouldn't be, the blade wouldn't be adequate enough. Okay guys, I've got a brand new jigsaw here which was bought for me for my birthday. So we're going to, with a brand new blade, we're going to give this a try. Just cut the bit of timber, but just one thing to notice is that I used a jigsaw rather than a bandsaw, because the bandsaw blade isn't great. But with a really good jigsaw and a really good blade, you can cut it perfect, okay? Quarter way through, I had to change the blade because it was the wrong blade. So I put a Hitachi blade into it, a ripping blade, and cut it perfect. Perfect. Now I just want to show you the importance of a really sharp hand plane. Again, I know I keep talking about a sharp hand plane, but it's so important. But if we look at this timber here, it's high on this side. It's high on this side. And the beauty of, again, using a premium hand plane, it has its advantages. And the other advantage with this one is it's got a cambered blade. And a cambered blade can rectify this problem much easier than a straight blade. So let's go give it a few spins and let's see how it goes. And notice I'm using my legs to run the hand plane, not my arms. So let's just have a look and see how this goes. And we're not a million miles off now, so we're getting close. you can't see that, but that is 100% through, square to this. Now with a little bit of tear out there, we're going to have to keep going till we get rid of the tear out. But other than that, so the next thing I want to do now, I want to put the bottom slats shelf on the bench, and I've decided to go with a curvy section, okay, this kind of curve. So the first thing I do is I go and I make myself a template, and that's what I've done on a piece of hardboard. I've made myself a template, and on this template I put an identification mark, which is an X, and therefore when I cut out this shape from the template, I mark an X, and that X will go to the straight part of the bench, which is the back of the bench, and we will then cut these again to follow the curve of the bench. So we'll get on and we'll mark one of these, and we'll cut one of these, and we'll show you how we go about it. And when we cut it from the template, we allow a mil or two more. We'll then use a router to flush trim up the slats. Now you could use a bobbin sander, and I have a bobbin sander, but the problem with the bobbin sander is the red deal clogs it up and it burns. So the bobbin sanders are very good, but on some timbers they're useless. And on red deal is one particular timber where the belt clogs up very quickly on it, okay? So the bobbin sander is not going to work for this one. But let's get on and now the bobbin sander, might work after we use the flush trim router. If there's a little bit of hair tear out, we could use the bobbin sander then. It might work perfect, but to try and get it down to the line now, by the time you get one done, the belt will be clogged up. Let's get on with this. Okay guys, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify the X, which is here. This is very important, okay? The next thing we're going to do, we're going to put a bit of timber up against that there, and we're going to shove this against that. And that makes sure that these two are flush, and we'll mark our shape. And now what we have is, we have a copy of the template to the bandsaw. And so now guys, now we can see the shape that I'm looking for on the bottom slats, okay? And this is it here. So my next job now is to stick the template to this and use with a guide following bearing router type bit. We'll trim these up just nice and clean. Okay, this is where we put our template on top of our timbers that we just cut. And we will screw the template down, okay? And that's nice and secure. So the next thing we do then is we have a bearing on the cutter. Now I know the cutter is exposed. It's the only bit I have and it's the only router I have. So anyway, we've got a bearing follower on the bottom of the cutter. And that's where this will run against that. So let's give that a go. just be aware when we're doing this sort of work, be careful with your fingers. It's unfortunately it's the only router I have with a 1/4 inch chuck, and it's the small Makita. Fantastic little router. We'll talk about that another day. But you can see now, like it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Now, this will require a bit of sandpaper, because what you have is, if you look, you can see a little bit of tear out there. But there's not a lot you can do about that. It wouldn't matter if you were using premium hardwood. You'll still get, once you come across the grain, you know, where the grain changes direction, you'll always get some sort of tip breakout, regardless of how good the router is or how good the bit is. Anyway. And so guys, there we have it. 2 beautiful benches. The first one made, which inspired the second one to be made, with a slight curve in it. So, with the use of hand tools and a lot of power tools, this is what you can produce in possibly a weekend. The only thing about this particular bench here, well, both of them really, was the preparation. The painting the deal timber, and indeed put the oil. 12 hours between each coat, 3 coats. There you go, there's 3 days gone. Anyway guys, this is it. 2 beautiful hallway benches, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, from an Irish Woodworkers Diary, I'm Phil Gaynor.